Growing up in gang life, that's pretty much my life in the streets of Los Angeles. At the age of 10, I was already smoking marijuana. Had been drinking since I was about 12. I got in trouble for stealing, and I got put on probation. And then through the midst of that, my real mom, she then put me in a juvenile detention center. I was married in 2014. I was pregnant, and then he left me at 5 months pregnant and then divorced me.
I suffered from mental illness for 10 years. I have schizophrenia, bipolar, anxious, anxiety, depression, all that stuff. I was hearing voices for 10 years. I was so devastated, it just destroyed my life. I believed in what I was hearing, you know. I fell for it, and I actually got in trouble with the law.
I moved here 17 years ago. Unfortunately, I got into an abusive relationship. I'd only been with him a few months, and that's when the abuse started. And it just steadily got worse. You know, you don't think when you're this age that you're ever going to be into an abusive relationship. I had made 2 dishes to go to a party over at the clubhouse where I live, and it had said bring a dish. Well, he got mad because I had made 2, and they weren't big dishes, so I wasn't thinking anything about it. And when I told him, I've already made them, it's no big deal. And he grabbed me and slammed me back against the kitchen cabinet, and I didn't realize at the time. I know it hurt, but I didn't realize that he had ruptured the spleen. And I went around for a couple of days like that. And here I am 70 years old, and I'm so close to death, they didn't think I was going to pull through because of abuse. The doctor said, we don't think you're pulling out of it, but if we don't operate, you won't pull out of it. And it's hard to accept when you're over 70 years old.
At Hope Women's Center, our mission is to engage, encourage, and equip women and teen girls facing any difficult life situation with a holistic approach that seeks to meet her physical, emotional, and spiritual need. We want to walk with her through her immediate crisis, but also to build a long-term relationship with her and give her the tools she needs to make positive life choices. As she begins to break cycles of addiction, of poverty, of abuse, then she is able to create a healthier environment and future for herself and her children. At Hope, we know that real and sustainable change occurs in a woman's life when we first begin to change her identity. As we help her transform the way that she sees herself, to recognize her value, her worth, and the unique gifts that God has created in her, we then begin to see her overcome the pain of her past, the self-limiting beliefs that she is holding, and the barriers that are standing in the way of her growth. And as she begins to transform, to grow, to heal, that growth overflows into the lives of her children, her family, and ultimately into her community.
When I lost my husband, Eliseo, and the Women's Hope Center would call me just to encourage me and let me know that they were there for me and that I could come back whenever I was ready. And when I decided to come back, they just embraced me and helped me through the whole process of grieving. And it's just a beautiful family and community that sorry, I'm gonna cry again, but they're just they're so beautiful people, like all of them. The women that come here, the people that work here, they're just so ready to embrace you and help you and get through whatever situation or circumstances that you're going through. And just very thankful.
The ladies, when they come to the center, it's really hard. I think that they have a picture in their mind of what to expect. And so when they ring that doorbell at Hope Women's Center and they're welcomed into the center with absolutely no judgment, we just welcome them for who they are, with everything that they're bringing with them. It's just a time for them to release and say, you know, I'm accepted here. And once they get to that point, then they can really start talking about what brought them to the center, the struggles that they have in life, whether it's in a relationship or an addiction or whatever it is, suffering from grief. Then they're able to really open up and start to tell us their story.
So we see a lot of different ladies here at Hope with amazing stories. Most of them come from some sort of trauma, more severe in others than some. But a lot of women come in here, they are in survival mode. They're in shock. They can't make plans for the future, have dreams, because all they can see is going day to day and trying to survive in the life that they have been given a lot of times. So it's so amazing to watch the transformation when they do get into mentoring and when they do take some of the classes, especially the Bible studies, watching them learn to apply God's word to their lives and to see how that does amazing transformation and healing for them.
The biggest part of what we do at our centers is our education program. We run a variety of classes. We do life skill classes. And with our classes, when the women come and take classes, they earn points. And with those points, they can help provide for their families through the resources we offer in our resource room: toilet paper, paper towels, those things that you can't buy with food stamps, like clothing and diapers. I mean, when you need diapers and toilet paper, you need diapers and toilet paper. So they're able to do that. Then they're able to do utility assistance. We offer a monthly lottery where they can apply for electricity. We pay up to $60 of their electric bill, which in many cases, for many of the families that we serve, helps them keep their electricity on during the summer months when they need that.
Sharing with my church and sharing with the people at Hope Center. If I hadn't had Hope Center, you know, because if I felt like he was coming around, I knew I could get in my car and come to Hope Center and I was safe in here. And I really think that it's important for women of all ages to know that it's available to come and you're feeling unsafe. Or even when I was living with him, if I could tell he was getting agitated, I could come out and sit out here in the daytime.
My baby, she's 4 years old. I adopted her because her mom didn't want her. So even that I was single, I had to suffer a lot because it's not easy. First, because they said I wouldn't be able to get her because I was single. And then I had to work harder, take some classes, how to know how to raise her. But I love her. She's my heart. She's my sweetheart. She's beautiful.
What I've learned at Hope Center is that I'm so much more than what I came from. I'm so much more than the physical, the emotional, the mental abuse that I've gone through, the terrible relationships, and I want to install that in my daughter, that she is worth so much more. She is a woman of God, a child of God, and I want her to never think anything less, and that I am her mother and I will love her unconditionally and never leave her side and be there in any way, shape, or form.
I suffered for 10 years from this mental illness that I had, and I did get a doctor and a counselor to help me through the critical times. And then I came to the Women's Hope Center, and they gave me the community. And what I got out of this was that the teachings of God and through the Bible and the scriptures, I was blessed. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I need to look at this. And everyone here is just so nice and so wonderful. I mean, I've never met people that are so blessing, you know, have so much blessings to share.
You have seen just a glimpse in the stories of these women of what we get to see and hear on a daily basis at Hope Women's Center. The changes that are occurring through the education program, through the mentoring, through the support groups, through the grace-filled environment that she is able to come in and begin to be transformed through community and through all of the programs that she is experiencing. We need your support to continue to sustain our existing centers and to minister to the women and families that you have seen today, and also to open new centers into areas where resources are scarce and the needs are great. It is your partnership with us that allows us to provide hope in the life of a woman and child daily across Arizona.